What's happening, everybody? This is Mad Electrician Gaming, and I'm bringing another map track to you with a new type of feature. I know we've all seen the hold Y for NOS, but this is implementing a timer. So we'll go ahead and jump in, kind of show you how this works. And I'll also explain how to set it up for your own event as well. Looking like we're underground, but we'll pop up. So we'll go ahead and start this event. Alrighty, as you can see, we kind of got a mountainside drag strip. You can start your 40 rolls here, you know, take off here, you're 40 by the time you hit the start line, take off. A little water box as well. But anyways, as far as the timer works, make sure you do not cross this first checkpoint. As soon as you cross the checkpoint, the timer starts. Actually, back there where I was saying you can start the 40 roll, that's the start line. It's not an actual checkpoint up, so you can't see it. But it did start a timer. So as soon as I cross this one, you'll see up in the top left where the time is, a little message will pop up, quarter mile time, or ET actually is what it says, and it'll show the time it took me from to go from the start line to here. But as soon as you cross this checkpoint, a timer starts, and as soon as you cross the one at the finish line, the timer stops. It'll pop up. So essentially it's just giving you the split time between checkpoints. But I've set it up on this strip so we can see our quarter mile time. Only to the first decimal though, unfortunately. So we'll just do all motor, no NOS, see what happens. A little to the right there. 7-1 on the limiter. So that's pretty much it though. On the checkpoints, you just counting the time between them. So you'll notice once I go through this one, it'll change. So just make sure you take note of your quarter mile time before you go through any other checkpoints. See, now it changed 23 seconds. So yeah, you just kind of ignore all these other times until you get back around to the starting line. But the way you have to set this up, and I'll show the rule set here shortly, but you have to do it as checkpoints. If you do it as a lap, even in cross country, there will still be ghosting. I guess since it's lap, if you stop, you know, in a normal race, they're afraid somebody come back around, you'd interfere with the race. That's not prevalent here, but there's no way to turn it off. So I had to set up 20 laps worth of checkpoints here. So you have 20 passes. Each car that comes into this, in a convoy, whatever, individually has 20 passes before the finish line will pop up on the little dirt road leaving here. And now when that happens, you still have free roam of the entire map, just until somebody crosses the finish line. So we'll pop back up here again. You can see I've got which it'll take the timer off, I guess, if I do that. So we'll give this one under NOS. Six. That's how tall I am. 6'6". I wish we had one more decimal point though, because you're like 6'6" what? 6'9", 6'1", it's kind of a big difference there. But anyways, that's the map. That's how she works. Like I said, you got 20 laps. And there's all these other little checkpoints here too if you want to spectate along the side. You do have to do a pass and then come in this way. If you try to bypass the checkpoint when you come underneath the building, it'll say miss checkpoint and then kind of restart you. So if you do want to come spectate from up here, you do have to hit it from the return road side. And then before you make a pass, you got to make sure to go hit the right checkpoint, which I believe is over there, before it'll let you complete, you know. The game thinks you're trying to cheat and go off course. Go back around one more time. I'll back out and show you the rule set. I'll show you with the Nitrous here. Yeah, make sure you don't get up over that line because you will trip the timer a little early. Wasn't the greatest pass at all. 7-0. Got 3 little turn-off roads here. We'll be doing a night map for this as well. And also thinking about doing a 8th mile track. That way we can put the checkpoints and see our 8th mile times. I wish there was a way I could stack them. And somebody smarter than me might be able to figure out how to do that. You know, set up like a checkpoint at the 60, 330, 8th mile, 1,000 foot, quarter mile, and then have them displayed separately. Checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, stuff like that. I'm just not sure how to get that to work in the rules. Speaking of which, we'll go ahead and back out. I'll show you them rules. Alright, now in here where we can edit our event, I'll show you the rules. You definitely have to have it on, like I said, cross country, no driver tars. I like the storm season because the sky kind of gives it, you know, they give little clouds and stuff like that. So I usually use storm. It's not wet at all. Make sure your rewind is off for the NOS to work. So do that. Jump down here, take a look at rules of play. Okay, this is what actually does the timer here. So the trigger happens when a checkpoint is passed. You get the last split time from the triggering player. And I tried to get that extra decimal point, kept putting zeros, you know, .00001, nothing, it just was always to the first decimal. So, but yeah, I put the .001 and then triggering player for the actions, HUD element 1, and then what the label should be. You could put whatever you want in there. So if you put your, you know, you're trying to do the 8th mile, you can change that for 8th mile. If you're trying to do 1,000 foot, do 1,000 foot. And then your number, make sure it's the split time there. And that'll give you the split times between each checkpoint. Now, I figure there's quite a bit more that can be done with that, stacked on top, maybe figuring out how to select each checkpoint. It's just a little beyond me, but this is how I've figured it out so far to at least get the timer between checkpoints. And then we've got the traditional NOS on Y, or rewind, which was found out and made public by Weedman Gaming. So big props to him on that. That's kind of a game changer for these, because we would still, you know, reset car position to get that horsepower modifier, which makes perfect sense to put it on a button. You know, I don't know why it took us all these years to figure that out, but yeah, props to Weedman for stepping up the game on that for sure. But like I said, that's pretty much it. That's the rule set. Like I was saying though, you have to have your checkpoints placed in your certain locations. You know, you can't deviate from that path either. So it's a bit tricky to pull off on some of these maps, but it is doable. It would have been a lot easier to do it as a lap, because then you just circle back around. You don't have to place, shoot, I don't know how many was there, 4 or 5s. So yeah, that's about 100 fucking checkpoints I put on that damn thing. You do 20 laps times 5. But there you go. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope this brings another little level of something to the game, you know, just a little bit more than what we used to have. So feel free to check out this map, follow for more, and I'll see y'all next time.